Hi, Annie.
Hi, Claire.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so let's introduce ourselves for those of you who don't know us. My name is Annie.
And I'm Claire.
And we live in the green capital of the Basque Country, Vitoria-Gasteiz, which is located in the north of Spain.
And together, Annie and I have nearly 60 years experience as English teachers.
We started this podcast back when the pandemic hit.
When we suddenly found ourselves disconnected from our students.
But this time we're back with a bigger impulse.
Annie, we're back with 3 bigger impulses.
True.
We have the first one, which is English Impulse, which is our off-the-cuff section where we just chat away about things that are happening at the time.
And then we'll have our Business Impulse, which will take you from your first job interview to your boardroom presentation.
Yeah, and our third impulse is wellbeing impulse, where we're going to talk about the latest fads, trends related to our mental or physical health.
So we hope you join us on this journey.
We do, and we also hope that we would love you to subscribe and avail of all the premium material which is going to be on our website and which will give you the opportunity to put into practice what you've been listening to.
Without further ado, let's begin our English Impulse.
Welcome to English Impulse, the podcast for English learners and, well, basically everyone.
Every episode, Claire and I chat about the latest trends, news, and of course, all the juicy gossip.
Okay, so Annie, today is the 19th of September 2025, and we're just going to chat about events that have happened in the last few days.
Okay.
I think there's one that stands out, and I think I'll give you 2 words as a clue and see what you can think. Pomp and gluttony.
Okay, gluttony, I know what gluttony is. And pomp, is that short for pompous?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, if you're talking about pompous and gluttony, I'm guessing it has something to do with Trump.
Well, it is. I am referring to the famous visit of Donald Trump, the President of the US, to Great Britain.
Yes.
I don't know whose ego they were trying to feed, Trump's or Starmer's, but it was a very scripted, state-of-the-art performance where the world looked on, but not the public. And when I say pompous and gluttony, I'm thinking of all the British royal banquet, and while they were eating, it just reminded me of Victorian days when they said, "Your Majesty, the people have no bread." And she said, "Well, let them eat hamburgers in today's language."
Let them eat McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Yeah, for example. Mind you, he wasn't given any cheeseburgers, but the menu was quite fitted to an American president. So, what was it about? Was it about that? We friends, I love you, who loves you more? Or was it about trade agreements?
Well, let me just go back because, yes, it was super pompous. It was gluttony all over the place. The gold that Trump loves was everywhere. No, I think even like the Queen's dress was like gold. No, or the daughter's dress was gold. I mean, it was too much. But I wasn't so surprised by that because I feel like that's the new norm. Like if Trump's coming to visit, you need to stroke his ego. You need to, win him over, and doing this stuff is the easiest way to do that.
Despite the fact that Gaza is being flattened on the same day.
Well, I mean, Trump even went to Saudi Arabia at one point and they brought out the works and the carpets and the dancing ladies for him. I feel like this is the new norm for Trump. Like, you want something from Trump? This is what you do.
Yes, but then you really read between the lines and you think, what exactly did they achieve? Of course, it's always to do with trade agreements, and in this case, it was a trade agreement where America promised lots and lots and lots of millions of bucks to
for AI,
where nobody really knows where AI is going to go in the next 10 years.
No, we don't. And I thought that was a very interesting deal. There's going to be millions of dollars being poured in, mostly by the tech companies in the US. But my big question for Britain is what are you going to have to give in return? Because as the way this man works, you don't get something without something in return.
So what do you think? What do you think they're going to be given in return? Do you think he'll be given like a free pass to have tea with King Charles whenever he wants? Do you think now he's in with the family?
I don't think he does tea. Maybe he needs like a gold-plated, I don't know, teacup or something like that. But no, I mean, even today, the headline was something about Trump telling the UK they need to put soldiers on their borders. Like, I don't think this is going to go... here's billions of dollars. No, and I know the US will also benefit from this trade deal because if there's, investments in medicine, then that's good for both countries and so on. But there's going to be more. There's going to be something else that the UK is going to have to give for this investment. I'm sure of it.
Of course, but in the short run, it worked. Why did it work? Because Britain, since Brexit, morale is low. The economy is low, the healthcare service is falling apart. So they really, really needed that moral boost, which again, Thatcher used in the 80s. How do you build British morale? By making Britain better, by making people buy British.
But from my understanding, Claire, is that most people in Britain don't like Trump. So how do they feel good about spending all this money and all this gluttony while there's wars going on? How do they feel good about the state dinner for someone they don't like?
Well, because I listened to people on the street talking yesterday, and they were, what do you think about Trump's visit? And people who were anti-Trump were there, I don't like Trump. But when somebody comes to visit us, we have to treat them well, and we have to show how British we are. So in that sense, they felt proud. They didn't feel proud 2 days ago, but suddenly they feel proud because they laid on a good show for the American president. Okay. And then if you tell them that there's been millions of dollars are going to come and there's going to be thousands of jobs created. Now, you didn't tell them that nobody knows where AI is going, nor did you tell them that these jobs actually won't materialize for at least 10 years.
And will be replacing other jobs, obviously.
Well, I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's going to happen
it's like the Industrial Revolution. I mean, tell that to a horse that they were going to be out of a job.
Yeah.
But nobody knew exactly where things were going to be going.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know where AI is taking us, but I feel like it's going to be a whole new world in a very short time.
It will. But I mean, again, it's something that's not the first time these revolutions have happened. And again, you can play with that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's loads of money that we're going to invest in something we don't even know where it's going. Oh, thank you very much. You're so good. We love you.
Okay. All right. Can I change the topic?
Oh, go on, dude. Let's talk about something lighter.
No, it's not very lighter. It's not that lighter, but it's something that I saw that really got my attention and really makes me worried. You all might not know, but I was born in the US. I haven't lived there in a very long time, but my family's there, and so I stay up on US news. And every night, or almost every night, my husband and I sit down, watch the TV, and we laugh. That's what we like to do before we go to bed. We laugh. And who do we watch? We watch US comedians.
Okay.
Who are on late night talk shows in the US, and we love them. And we were very sad that about a month ago, they canceled one of our favorite nighttime talk show hosts, Stephen Colbert. And over this past weekend, another one of the great comedians of the late night shows was canceled. And it was because he said something that Trump doesn't like.
So we're talking about free speech.
We're talking about free speech, and we will not get into a whole program because we're running out of time. But I just want to mention, this is something we need to pay attention to. Free speech is becoming more and more restricted, and not just in the US, but in the UK as well, with new laws about protests and so forth. And I find it to be a very interesting debate that maybe we'll have to go in more depth with in a later episode. What is the difference between free speech and hate speech, and when do we interfere or not in this type of language?
Exactly, and where exactly does free speech happen? Because if you're talking about social media, is that free speech? Trolling is free speech?
I know.
So it is. It's a new topic that we definitely will go into in a later date.
Okay, well, that's all for today. We thank everyone for being with us. that was just a little taste of what our English Impulse podcast will be like. Please stick with us. Next week, you will have the Business Impulse, and we will teach you about
first impressions, how to make that first non-verbal impression, that impression before you even open your mouth. So I think it's very important. Stay tuned. Business on Impulse, our next podcast.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.